just had to let you know you're.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Fatin Adira.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Nabil.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Hulfain Shira binti Azali.
So the topic for the report 1 is the federal and state constitutional relationship, and we're going to present our report 1. So for the first one, we're going to the background of Malaysian federalism. So Malaysia operate under the federal system, where power are shared between the federal government and state government as defined by the federal constitution. This ensure fair allocation of responsibilities and allow both levels to operate with their own judges. So, for the first one is the federal government. Federal government is how to handle national issues, which is defend, foreigners affair, education and financial. State government is manage local matters, Islamic affair, land administration and local government. And then the last one is constitution framework. The federal constitution is the supreme law to defining the structure and distribution of power. So the problem statement here is power distribution, which is overlap in legislative list, create ambiguity in decision making authority. So the second one is state autonomy, which is Sabah and Sarawak hold special constitution right, raising question about federal control versus state independence. The last one is a law conflict. Law conflict is a state federal legal clashes must be resolved through constitution process to ensure uniformity and stability for their state.
Next is study objective. This study is aims to explore 6 key areas of Malaysia federal state constitutional relationship. First is federal constitutions. This study is significant in shaping federal state relations. Second is state constitutions, which to examine their relevance within the Malaysia federal system. Third is divisions of power. This is discuss how powers are shared between federal and state governments. Four is state autonomy, to analyze the concept of autonomy in Malaysia. 5 is constitutional supremacy. It is for discuss how it disputes between federal and state law. Lastly is similarities and differences. It is for identify commonalities and facilities between both levels of government. The federal constitution between Malaysia. Malaysia's supreme law effective since independence on 31 August 1957 and adapted for Malaysia in 1963. It established government structure, citizen right and power of parliament, the judiciary and Yang di-Pertuan Agong. It have 3 examples, like federal authority. It is for national defense, foreign affairs, internal security, education, finance and taxation. Second is fundamental liberty. This is for freedom of speech, religion, equality before the law and protection against unlawful detention. Lastly is Article 4.1. The Constitution is the supreme law for any conflicting law like unconstitutional and void. Next is division of powers. The schedule of the Federal Constitution defines 3 legislative lists governing the distribution between federal and state government. First is Federal List. Federal List is for finance, transportation, education, internal security, foreign affairs and defense. Second is State List. State List is for land, agriculture, forestry, Islamic affairs, Malay custom, and addressing local needs and identify. Lastly is Concurrent List. Concurrent List is for public health, social welfare and town planning, both level legislative and corporate.
State autonomy in Malaysia. State autonomy enables state government to administer local affairs based on their unique needs, culture and priorities. First, general state power, land administration, agriculture, forestry, Islamic affairs and Malay custom, preserving culture, identity and local resource. Second, Sabah and Sarawak special rate, immigration control, greater power over natural resource and protection of native custom, stemming from the 1963 Malaysia Agreement. 3. Constitutional limits. State remain bound by the federal constitution. The federal government retains strong influence through financial and administrative means. Constitutional, supreme and conflict resolution. Article 4. The Federal Constitution is the supreme law. Any inconsistent law is void. All government bodies must act within constitutional boundaries. Ahmad 2023. Article 75. If a state law conflicts with a federal law, the state law is null and void to the extent of the incompatibility. Chong 2022. Judicial review. Court interpret the constitutional determine whether law passed by Parliament of state or state assemblies are constitutional safeguard the rule of law. Similarities and differences. Federal government. 1. Administer national matter. 2. Led by Prime Minister and Cabinet. 3. Legislative authorization Parliament. 4. Defences, foreign affairs, financial, education. 5. Applies law nationwide. 6. Revenue from national taxation. State government. 1. Administer state and local matter. 2. Led by Menteri Besar or Chief Minister. 3. Legislative authorization state assemblies. 4. Land, agriculture, forestry, Islamic affairs. 5. Applies law within state boundaries only. 6. Relies on state revenue and federal allocation. Both government share executive and legislative structure, are concentrable to court and must cooperate for effective government.
So the conclusion here is the federal system fosters political stability, national unity, and administrative efficiency. The Federal Constitution ensures a clear division of responsibility, while state autonomy and constitution supreme resolve discrepancies.
Next, we present the second report, which is the role of thought in Malaysia construction projects.
So our objective for this report is analyze core thought, which is for examine the essential legal principle and element of negligence, nuisance and trespasser under Malaysian tort law. And then the second one is elevate a stakeholder. We're going to identify role and standard safety guideline for construction professional to mitigate legal liabilities in Malaysia. And then the third one is review case law. So we review standard Malaysian judges precedent to understand how legal dispute are resolved in construction setting, especially in Malaysian construction industry. Introduction to tort of law in Malaysia. The law of tort address civil wrong where one party conduct cause harm or loss to another and provide a framework to a compensation. So negligence is an element to proving a duty of care, breach of duty and resulting damage. Core case law is a key. This is very important. So the second one is a common tort, which is a negligence, nuisance. Nuisance is about a loud noise of a construction project, and defamation, which is a false statement, and trespasser. The second one is a standard of care. Standard of care is assessed by the standard of the reasonable person in similar circumstances. There are three core thoughts in construction. The first one is negligence. Negligence is a breach of legal duty of care directly causing structural failure, physical injury, or economic loss to third parties, which is they have any accidents in construction site. And the second one is a nuisance. Nuisance is indirect and unreasonable interfering with another person quiet enjoyment of property, which is at the construction site they are doing a piling work, so the loud noise will disturbing the residential. So the third one is a trespass. Trespass is a direct unauthorized physical intrusion of personal machineries or debris across neighboring property boundaries.
Negligent case. Stephen V. Highland Properties 2000. The case, Block 1 of the 12-story Highland towards collapse, killing 48 people due to a massive landslide. It's triggered by poor soil drainage and failed retaining walls behind the blocks. Legal ruling, the court held that designers and engineers owe a direct professional duty of care to ultimate third-party resident, irrespective of contractual relation. Key of the lesson is professional standard of care extend to the public. Safety tests must never be falsified or rushed. Next is nuisance case. Chong Fat TZ mentioned V hotel conditional. The case is hotel piling works create severe vibration, trigger major structural cracking on a adjacent historic heritage mentioned in Penang. Legal ruling is the court granted an injunction against high vibration piling. The defense of temporary work is invalid if action causes irreversible physical damage. Key of the lesson is contractors must adapt machinery replacing driven piles into with bore piles in historic or urban zones. Trespass case. Taiwan construction with neighbors. The case is silt, water, and thick mud flooded from developer elevated site onto neighboring land due to grading and wall works. Legal ruling is trespass is actionable per se. Pushing soil, discharging, running off, leading, scaffolding cross boundary lines constitution a physical intrusion. The key of the lesson is site boundary are strict. Contractor must actively contain mud and run off with project coordinates.
Legal consequences, civil and financial payouts. Compensatory damage are ordered to cover structure repair. Under standard construction form, liquidated ascertained damage (LAD) are accessed to penalize delay caused by tort disputes. 2. Criminal and resources risk. Under OSHA 1994, gross negligence cause casualties result in prison terms and heavy corporate finance. Regulatory bodies, Board of Engineers can permanently revoke consultant credential. Standard legal defences. 1. Contributory negligence. Claim is found potentially at fault. The court divides liability and lower the damage in proportion with plaintiff blame. 2. Assumption of risk. Plaintiff was willing and willing accept potential risk prior to starting. Voluntary non-fit injury. 3. Limitation period. Statutory timelines bar claim submitted too late. Generally 6 years for general tort in Malaysia. Available civil remedies. Scope and mechanism. Monetary damage, financial compensation to restore the injured party prevention condition. Scope and mechanism. Prohibitory injunction, equitable court order immediately banning or halting a specific practice. Scope and mechanism, specific performance, mandatory instruction to carry out a particular contract requirement. Specific construction purpose, mandatory damage, cost of adjacent site repair, structure underpinning or land stabilization. Specific construction purpose, prohibitory injunction, halting illegal site activity, heavy piling or crane oversale. Specific construction purpose, specific performance, compiling a contractor to finish vital public structure safety repair. Conclusion. 1. Dilapidation survey. Examine and document neighbour properties before work begins to establish baseline structure status and reject false claim. 2. Regulatory auditing. Adhere to CIDB, OSHA 1994 and local authority mandates as an active corporate safety culture rather than a mere checklist. 3. SOP adaptability. Employ lower vibration piling method, bore or jet in piles, and set screen to prevent physical runoff and boundary noise.
Thank you. That's all from our group.
I just had to let you know you're